Hi, I'm Frode and welcome to my October 2018 Goal Progress Report. In this series I share the progress I make on my 5 most important goals for 2018, and I do this for several reasons. First, so you can learn to set goals. Second, so you can stay motivated to achieve those goals. And third, so you can learn about the principles of effective goal setting and achieving. So just need to dive a little bit further into these ones, since the reasons are so important, so we can stay motivated, both of us, to keep doing these videos and watching these videos, so you can know what you get out of them. Because the real problem with setting goals is that most people don't do it. This is much like going out on the shooting range and really having no target at all to shoot for. So if you don't have a target, how do you know when you actually hit? And those who do set goals often have way too vague goals. So it's much like putting on these very weird goggles or perhaps sunglasses, so their vision becomes impaired. They don't really see as clearly as they could have. And then they wonder why they aren't hitting their goals as quickly as they can. And if you think about it, goals, things we want to achieve, are really just images of how we want things to be in our immediate reality. And if we don't know how we want things to be, how can we ever create that reality, those circumstances, those skills we want, or that knowledge we want in our heads, or those relationships, or whatever? We must have an image in our minds of how we want things to be before we can make it reality. Yeah, and those things rhyme, so that's fine. That's funny. Yeah, and the second reason is for watching these videos is that stay motivated to achieve your own goals. Because if you can't see the consistent and clear progress that you're actually making, the steps that you're taking toward your goals, then it becomes very hard to motivate yourself to achieve them. And with these videos, I make an attempt to keep you accountable to making progress on your goals by formulating what your specific goals are each month, and then writing down the progress that you make on those goals. And the third most important reasons for this series is so you can learn about the real principles, the core principles of effective goal achievement. Because it's so much information out there about how we can set our goals, and it's easy then to just get overwhelmed and not act on anything, or start acting on the wrong things. So in these videos I just give you small tips, tricks and principles that I learned myself from own experiences with goal setting, and from the many different books that I read on the topic. So those are the reasons for watching the videos. Set goals, stay motivated to achieve them, and learn the principles of how to achieve them most effectively. So in this video we will look at 5 of my most important goals this year for the areas, 1 for each of the areas of health, relationships, studies, work, and growth. We'll first remind ourselves of the yearly goals I set. We'll look at the progress I made in October, which was last month, and then set the goals for November. So we always have a kind of a vision of how we want things to be in the future. We can see the steps we're taking, and then we set clear goals for the steps right ahead of us for what we want to do. Right, so enjoy as you follow along. The first goal I have is for health. And the yearly goal in 2018, I read them from the computer so you can kind of get the goal formulation too. By December 31st, I have proudly completed each main workout in the 10-week Frontier obstacle training program to mold a character of ceaseless energy, vigorous strength, and competitive greatness. So, this is a goal I have for health, and it's related to obstacle course racing. The Frontier training program consists of a lot of exercises for building strength, for conditioning, for running, for flexibility, for all these things that you need to really compete at a high level in obstacle course races. Because I have really high ambitions in the coming years for competing. Right, so the progress I made in October goes like this. By October 30th, 2018, I have proudly completed each main workout for 3 weeks of the Frontier Obstacle Training Program to mold the character of ceaseless energy, vigorous strength, and competitive greatness. So the progress I made on this goal was I hit about 95% of the workouts in these 3 first weeks of the training program. And I'm very happy about that because I really believe that consistency is more important than intensity. Because if you can consistently make yourself do the thing you need to do, whether it's a workout or a work session or approaching women or men or whatever, you can do it for each day or each week over an extended period of time. Then it becomes second nature to you, and then you can start ramping up the intensity because you have so much more willpower, so much more conscious strength to use for the improvements that you want to make. So I'm very happy about that. And the goal I set for November is by November 31, 2018, I have proudly completed 7 weeks of the Frontier Obstacle Training Program. And another thing about the formulation that I make of these goals, they are structured like this. By this date, specific date, I have done this specific thing, often stated in numbers or some specific task that I'm going to complete for these reasons. These are the things that are motivating me. And that's, again, date by October 30th, 2018, very specific. This is what I do. I have completed each main workout for 3 weeks of the Frontier Obstacle Training Program. Then the reasons, my motivation, the reasons for why I actually want to achieve it. Some feelings or some values or some ideals I want to uphold and live towards. To mold the character of ceaseless energy, vigorous strength, and competitive greatness. And what else these reasons give me is an image of how I want to be. I want to be a person of ceaseless energy who is always performing at the highest level by training consistently and eating healthy, which is very important for athletes. Well, I want to be of vigorous strength, meaning which means also intensity. Kind of look at vigorous intensity and competitive greatness. Really want to thrive while competing against others and myself to push the outer boundaries of human achievement. Right, so that's a long one on my health goal with obstacle course racing. Now let's go through it a bit more quickly when you have gotten the overall process. So the goal for my relationships in 2018 is by December 31st, 2018, I have proudly gained 100 Facebook and real friends to magnify shared positive emotions, forge close relationships for self-actualization, and shine a light of joy on everyone I meet. And I explain the why of gaining a lot of friends in the first video, I believe. It's to a lot of acquaintances, so you can have more positive shared emotions with them, which is another word for love in the way I now look at it. So the thing is that I did achieve my goal, yearly goal this month of getting 100 friends on Facebook. I have about 111, and these friends are those I have met 3 times or more, and meet quite fairly often. So now I raise my standards, because when I hit a goal, I raise my standards. So I'm going to gain 150 Facebook friends. These acquaintances that I can share positive emotions with whenever I meet them, which is so important to have a consistent level of joy in my days. It's actually what I believe. So the progress I made in the goal I had for October was by October 31, I have proudly gained 25 Facebook and real friends to magnify shared positive emotions, etc. And I did achieve to gain 39 friends, which led me to achieve my yearly goal and ramp it up from 100 to 150, which is very exciting. I can see that if I reach a goal and I don't have a goal which goes beyond it, then the motivation just drops to almost zero again. Need to always have some future aim in case you achieve the one immediately in front of you. So the November for relationships in November is by November 30th, I have proudly gained 40 Facebook and real friends to magnify shared positive emotions, etc. Now we'll go on to the studies. study intellectual goal for 2018 is by December 31, I have proudly earned A and B grades in all classes, to be an outstanding student while having crazy fun with friends and pursuing world-changing projects on the side. This is I agree that this goal is a little bit vague. I say I have proudly earned A and B grades in every class, and I could have just said A. But the thing is that the amount of study you need to go from a B or 3.5 or something average and up to an A 4.0 is much greater than you need to go from a C up to an B, or a 3 up to a 3.5 or something. And I just don't have any reason why I need to have A grades in every class. So I'm happy with the A's and B's, which I want to do in the fewest hours of study possible, and that requires me to learn the most effective study strategies, so I can also teach it or share them with my friends and you. Right, that's my yearly goal. And by October 31, I have the goal of proudly attending every lecture and completing every reading. That's something I almost did. I completed every reading, but I skipped 3 lectures because of the detailed notes the teacher shares in their slides, and also of the incredibly boring nature of the teacher. So it's really something that's, it's not very optimal to have teachers with so low presentation skills, like going back and forth in the room, not having eye contact almost at all with the students, and it seems like that teacher is in their head all day long. So the students have a lot of fun and frustration with this, but I choose to not go to a lot of those lectures because I can hit the learning goals by looking at the PowerPoint slides instead. Right, so by November, I set the goal of proudly attending every necessary lecture and completing every reading and assignment, to be an outstanding student while having crazy fun with friends and pursuing world-changing projects on the side. These are really strong reasons for me, because I don't want to only be a high-achieving student who gets good grades, who's just a grind sitting at the library all day long. Although I do sit at the library almost all day long, but that includes the world-changing projects I do on the side, which is another good reason. This means reading these books behind me and sharing these videos with you, and a lot of other things I'm very excited about. Right. And having crazy fun with friends is also important for the general enjoyment and happiness of life. Those are my study goals. Which are yours, in case you're studying? Now, for my work / contribution goals. By December 31st, 2018, I have done the work to earn 5,000 YouTube subscribers through creating 52 book reviews, to inspire and enable my listeners to discover and fulfill a noble purpose, mold a forceful character, and make their mark on history. So let's dive a bit more into this one. The goal of 5,000 YouTube subscribers is pretty ambitious, since we have 2 months left of 2018, and I have about 700 subscribers right now. But anyway, that's not the most important metric for me. The most important metric is creating consistent book reviews, because if I keep creating and serving and giving you value and videos that you actually find helpful and inspiring, then that's something that's going to attract more subscribers automatically. So I don't worry too much about the outcome. I just do the work that leads to it. And to inspire and enable my listeners to first discover and fulfill a noble purpose. That's because I found having a purpose in my life so valuable. It's much like having a goal, but it's unattainable in itself. It's something that's an ideal you want to strive towards. And my purpose is very vaguely to help people self-actualize. More specifically, I want to help other people discover and fulfill a noble purpose, to mold their characters through living their lives according to principles. Very clear action rules for what they want to do in any given situation. And that might be to always tell the truth, to do the hardest thing, do the hardest task first thing each morning, to turn words into action, to do what you say you will do, and other such principles. Because when you have these clear action rules for how you actually want to conduct yourself, how you want to act, then it becomes so much easier to make decisions since they are already made. And your decisions turn into actions, your actions turn into habits, your habits mold your character, and your character determines your destiny. This is very closely related to a quote you might have heard, which goes in the same way. Thoughts turn into your destiny. Right, and to mold a forceful character, as that was what I mentioned, and to make your mark on history. That's also something I want to help you do. Because I'm a very ambitious person myself, and I believe that if more people could really awaken the hidden powers and possibilities within themselves and strive to aim some worthwhile goal for the betterment of humanity, then we'd have a much better world to live in. If we didn't just let it turn into narcissism, that is, or arrogance, or just wanting things for our own sake. But if we have high ideals and goals for what we want to achieve in the service of those in our immediate surroundings and those in our more distant surroundings, humanity in general, then we can do very much good for the world, I believe. So that's why I want to help people make their mark on history through the positive contribution they make to humanity. I like motivating myself by saying phrases like, this is the deed I make that people will sing about through thousands of generations in the future. And people will, and such. This is the deed that gets immortalized in history when I push through any discomfort or such. So those are the yearly goals. 5,000 subscribers, 52 book reviews. The promise I made the goal I set in October was by October 31 I have done the work to earn 100 more YouTube subscribers through creating 8 book reviews. To inspire and enable my listeners to discover and fulfill a noble purpose, etc. The reality of that is that I gained 43 subscribers, not 100, and I created 2 book reviews instead of 8. And that's so much because of the really detailed note-taking I started doing of the book Making Life a Masterpiece by Orson Swett Martin. I think I spent like 5 days, just several hours each day, just compiling and capturing the quotes and passages and commenting on them, formulating own principles, and getting a much more positive and optimistic attitude into my mind. That's something that led me away from creating more book reviews. And I also just need more direct action and simplicity in the way I make these videos. To create a general outline of what I want to say to you and what I want you to get out of it. And then practice it a few times and record the video, instead of just getting bogged down in all the plans that I'm making, all the detailed mind maps and all of the different components I want to add. Just make it simple, record, and share. So in November, I have the goal of, by November 30th, I have done the work to earn 100 more YouTube subscribers through creating 8 book reviews. That means 4 book reviews in English and 4 book reviews in Norwegian. No, I mean 6 in English. That means on my English YouTube channel for you, and then I also want to start a Norwegian YouTube channel where I share these book reviews to really create a culture of self-development here in Norway too, which I can see we are in dire need of. There are so few people who actually pursue goals, personal development, and making their lives a masterpiece in relation to what I see in America and the culture they have there. So I really want to make something on that here too. Would be really cool to start a new movement in my own country. Right. And that's to inspire and enable my listeners to discover and fulfill a noble purpose, mold a forceful character, and make their mark on history. Creating those book reviews, that is. That was for my contribution goals. And finally, and by the way, I hope that this video is actually helpful to you and is giving you some value or insights in some way that you can actually use, because I don't want to make these videos just about me talking about what I do and being so self-centered. Want it more to be something that you can actually gain something from. So please tell me if I'm giving you too much information about the what's and why's and how's of around my goals, or if you just want more clear cut. This is the goal I had, this is the progress I made, this is the goal I set for next month. The upside of that might be efficiency, and the downside is that if I tell you things much more quickly then and concisely, then you won't get many of the principles or the reasons, the motivations, the tips and insights you can use to achieve your own goals. So, it's up to you. Please tell me in the comments. Do you like more in-detailed analysis of the goals or a more quick overview of the progress I made? Right, so the last goal area is for growth / self-actualization / achieving your highest potential. The goal I had in 2018 was by December 31, I have read 100 books to uncover my hidden powers and possibilities, gain the wisdom of giants, and think independently of other people's opinions. I want to read 100 books because I have done that a year. I think I've done that each year since I started really setting goals of reading a lot of books. Perhaps not last year, but the one before that. And this is very possible when you just learn how to read effectively, concentrate completely in your reading sessions, and read for 2 hours or sometimes 3 hours each day, which is something you build up, of course, from 15 minutes for a week or two, then 30 minutes, then 1 hour, and then your love for reading and exploring the possibilities of how much we can achieve in our lives and what we can create just starts snowballing, and you'll gain intrinsic motivation to read more. So to uncover my hidden powers and possibilities, that's the reason I have, because when I started reading at the age of 17, I'm 22 right now, when I started reading at 17, I was amazed by the fact that we can actually design our lives consciously. We can decide what we want our lives to be, what our reality is going to be like. And if we want to shape reality consciously, we need to have the ability to envision how we want things to be. And we envision how we want things to be by seeing how others have already made it, what others have already done in the past, and by learning what we can do in the present to create the future that we want. So to gain the wisdom of giants, that goes just back to extracting the knowledge that people and experiences that people have gathered up through a lifetime of succeeding and failing and learning from their mistakes, and all of their experiences that they put into books or YouTube videos or courses that we can learn from. And I want to think independently of other people's opinions, because when you read a wide array of different books, especially within personal development, you start thinking more for yourself. You start seeing that other people are not always right. They might be very assertive with their opinions, but they might be totally wrong. And they might be actually destructive to their own lives or the lives of those around them. And then you start being able to develop the ability of self-reflection. You know yourself more deeply, and you can get better to follow your own wisdom, what you believe to be true yourself. Start shaping your own opinions, making your own choices, going toward your own goals. You make your life yours and not simply a byproduct of the circumstances and the people you meet. Right. The progress I made towards reading 100 books this year. I mean, the goal I had for October is, by October 31, I have read 11 books. To fulfill my noble purpose, mold a forceful character, and make my mark on history. The progress I actually made was to read 5 books, partially by the reason that I started taking very detailed notes about some of the books. Had a visit from my mother, did some other things, so I will still make the goal in November to read 12 books to fulfill my noble purpose, etc. That's got a lot to pick from, so just need to make sure that I pick the books that are most going to help me achieve my goals in this month, and go from there. That's a quick look at the goals I had for 2018 for my health, relationships, work, studies, and growth. My question for you now is, what are the 3 to 5 most important goals you have to achieve in 2018? The ones that excite you the most, the ones that would be fun to achieve, the ones that would make you grow as a person and allow you to contribute something to the world and make your mark on history. And what are the 3 to 5 connected goals that you're going to set for November 2018 to reach your yearly goal for 2018? Right, make it very specific. By what date will you have achieved what specific goal, often stated in numbers, and for what reasons? 1 to 3 reasons is very good to have. And then just comment it down in the comment section and I'll follow up with you there, so we can stay motivated to achieve our goals, accountable to make consistent progress, and yeah, go from there. So I thank you very much for watching, especially if you stayed with me this long, and can't wait to share more with you soon. Have another awesome day, and may we meet again.